people can watch it later because I'm going to answer questions first. I'm going to kind of like give you the lowdown of kind of like what I was thinking for this whole remote learning thing. And then after I give you the lowdown, if you're like, wait, how do you attach something to Google Classroom, or like, how does that work? Then just let me know. Okay, so that'll be the first thing that we do. And then we'll take homework questions from yesterday's assignment if you're like, how the heck was I supposed to do one of those? And then after that, we will, I'll just do a couple brief notes examples from stuff you're going to launch into for the rest of the week. So it's good to see you all though. Welcome to Zoom. So basically, you guys, when you guys log into your, I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen here to face this way. But when you guys log into Google Classroom, I mean, granted, yours probably looks a little different than mine because mine's the cheaper version, but you guys probably still started the stream, right, where I've got all the things posted, right? And then basically what's going to happen is like every day I'm going to post on the stream what part of the packet that you're actually working on. So, I mean, I know it has the days labeled on there, but if you're like, wait, was this part supposed to be notes? Am I doing this part? What's happening? So that's what kind of what I'm going to do. So like, obviously you guys have probably seen this because there was a Zoom meeting, but I posted that here's the April 13th work, right? And then under the classwork, right, is where I'm basically putting where you can put homework. So this right here is the April 13th review page. And basically, they have not come up with a plan as of yet to turn in papers via hard copy. Maybe they will come up with a plan, but like they essentially don't have a plan to like collect these packets yet. They don't know how they're going to do that. Basically, they like in case any of you have Corona, they don't want to like put Corona in the box and then give it to all the teachers, right? I mean, that might be bad. So that's kind of what they're thinking. So they don't know what to do. So I mean, keep it if you're not someone who can turn it on online. But here's my plan: is that you would kind of go in here, and granted, if I click on this, this won't be helpful. You guys will see. You guys would have to click on your own and see what opens up. But basically, what I've been told is if you take a picture of your whatever work you do, if you take a picture and upload it to your Google Drive, then you can just basically add it. Just like put add from Google Drive, and you can just add that picture. And then I will see anyone who's turned in their homework already, just so you know, then basically I'll give you a 5 out of 5. And if you totally don't know what you're doing, I still give you a 5 out of 5, but I just tell you what you're doing wrong and see if you can help. And if it looks like you do it mostly right and you're looking pretty good, 5 out of 5. So that's kind of like, and then I'll just post the next one, go from there. So that's how I'm kind of planning on getting information out to you, and kind of these Zoom meetings to like answer some homework questions, but then like teach you a short amount of time, like 5 to 10, like just one topic. So something that we'd probably learn in one day, we're going to do over like 3 or 4 days, just because it's more you doing your own work, and I'm just kind of hitting the really big highlights of the repeater. So that's the plan. So with that, any questions on that so far, on like how that looks for turning in things? And scanning the, excellent. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Just kidding. You can always. So then the next thing I do, now that I kind of explained that, is so I'm going to bring up here the work that you had to do for yesterday, so that I can see it. So if you guys, basically the work that was assigned yesterday was like April 13th review worksheet, right? Some of you guys, I think, already turned that in. That was awesome. So people emailed me and I kind of told them about turning it in on Google Drive. And then some people haven't turned it in yet, which is fine. And that's because I wanted to be able to take questions on it. So from that worksheet on fractions, I'm going to go ahead and basically what I'll do is I'm just going to share my screen and go to a whiteboard. And we can do, I'm not going to obviously like do all of them. If you had questions on a lot of them, then I would just like personally Zoom you at some point. But did anybody have a couple questions from that worksheet that you're like, wow, I didn't even know how to do that? If not, we're for sure doing it, because that one was hard for people. But did anybody have any questions? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that means you're all brilliant. This is the only one that I think probably does most. or on your graphing calculator. Do most of you guys have your graphing calculators at home?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you could just graph it there and here. I wonder if I can switch the camera while I cannot. So we'll find the asymptote. Anyway, so it's been a while, but this is where you have to take your finals. So this is great, but you made that construction paper booklet that you could take on your final if you were taking your final. And remember, asymptotes are basically setting the bottom equal to 0 and solving, and that gives you the x asymptotes. So this is just good review. How do we solve that guy? Oh man, we're fading. I can tell you what, 3 weeks off fills the world. The box. Okay, here we go. So we box this guy, x squared, negative 40, negative 3x. All right, somebody's got to help me with this. What times what gives you negative 3?
Negative 8, 5.
Ah, yeah, that's great. And that adds to negative 3. Nice. Perfect. So then it'd be x plus 5, x minus 8. And then you'd set those equal to 0. X equals negative 5, x equals 8. Is that okay for everybody? And then the construction paper booklet, this is where we like had the construction paper booklet because it's crazy if there's like more x's on bottom, then y equals 0 is the asymptote. If they were the same x's, maybe this rings a bell, like if it was both x squareds, then it'd be whatever comes in front of them. But that's actually like, since it's not, and then if there's more x's on it would just be none. But then, so those are our answers. And then let me, I'm going to stop sharing my for a second if I can figure out how. And then we'll graph this guy on Desmos so you guys can see it really quick and we can see where the asymptote. Wait, what was on top? X plus what?
5.
X plus 5 divided by, then it was x squared, then what, minus 3x?
Yes. Minus 40.
40. Nice. So, oh, this is interesting. I just noticed something. So my graph just looks like this. I don't know if that's what your guys' graph looks like. And yeah, there's nothing over here. And actually, now that I see it, this is crazy. This is a good one. I didn't even know I made this one so crazy. Going back to the whiteboard here. Oh, okay, never mind. Wait, it took away our work. That is so disappointing. I'm putting it back. Wasn't our work at the bottom factored into x plus 5, x minus 8? So what actually can happen to these x plus 5s?
They cancel.
Yeah, so that's actually why there's only one asymptote on the graph. So I guess your final answer, you can just cross off the 5. The final answer is just x equals 8. And you could still have the y equals 0. But anyway, now you guys have that one answered. That was crazy. Wow, look at that. Did anybody else have any other questions on the April 13th page? I'm glad it was coming back to you. If you need any other help on it, make sure you email me. But that is that. And then, so then what you'll do is, let me switch my camera back. What you will do is then you'll just take a picture. You can take a picture. If you do all your work on the packet, just take a picture of the page of the packet. If you didn't get a packet or you just don't have enough room on the packet, you can do it on your own paper. And then you'll just take a picture of it and you will put it on the Google Drive or your Google Classroom where the assignment is. Is that cool for everybody? Sweet. All right. Now I've had you captivating attention for like 10 minutes. Let's do a lesson for 10 minutes and call it good. All right. So basically all your homework is for today, quote, unquote, is to be on this Zoom call and make sure you understand substitution by the end of it. People who aren't on this Zoom call, their job is to watch this video or read the packet and make sure they understand substitution by the end of the day, right? So there's no actual homework that you'll turn in for the day. So nothing to attach to Google Classroom today except for that April 13th worksheet. So I'm gonna actually share my screen again, but this time I'm going to go to the note page. Aren't you guys proud of all my technological capabilities that I've learned how to do?
So proud of you.
Thank you. No, just like crazy. Okay, so substitution is what we're talking about. Boom. And basically, the great news is we are not actually doing Alg2 type stuff with substitution and elimination until later next week. I'm basically just focusing on Algebra 1 for a little bit because we're obviously learning from home and we're figuring out how this looks, but that's kind of what's going on. So substitution, bringing it back. There's two equations, right? So here they are over here. They call this a system of equations is what they call it because there's two of them. And there's two letters, and it turns out you can only solve for two letters if you have two equations. You could only solve for three letters if you had three equations, etc. So my question for you guys is I always do this. Do you guys remember how you can basically like put this in X's spot in the other equation? Is that okay? Because it equals X. Yeah. So essentially substitution works as long as there's a letter by itself, which this X is by itself, then I can plop whatever it equals, so Y plus 1, into its spot. So what this looks like is I've got two parentheses, and in this spot, I'm not going to keep the X. Instead, I'm going to put the Y plus 1 because that's what I'm putting in X's spot, right? And then the rest looks the same. So plus Y equals -4. So notice that like this equation, if I had just X right here, would look exactly the same as the original one. It's just that instead of having the X there, I'm putting the Y plus 1 because that's what it equals in the other. And then from there, that is like literally the only hard part of substitution. Some people have like nightmares about substitution from Algebra 1, but that's it. From here, it's just solving. Is everybody good with that first step?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. So now we just distribute, and we get 2y plus 2 plus y. Thing, I'll just put the invisible 1 in there, not that we need it. -4.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to combine these guys. 2y, 1y is 3y. Plus 2 equals -6. Or sorry, I'm already ahead of myself. Still equals -4. Then subtract 2. And then we get -6. And then divide by 3. And we get y equals -2. Everybody okay with that? That's just some algebra.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody know why we're not done yet?
You gotta put the y back in one of the original equations.
Perfect. Yeah, basically we still have to find x, and so by doing that, we just gotta plot the one that I had told originally, because then it's just ready to go, right? X equals. So I put the -2 in, so x equals 1, and then don't make the answer -1, -2. Is that okay for everybody? So we're going to learn more about this like next week, but basically what we're doing is there's two lines on a graph and they would meet. But as long as you guys can, that's what I want you guys. Let's do one more and then I'll show you guys a harder one. So this guy right here, notice no letters are by itself. Like here we have 7y plus x equals -2, or we have y minus 2x equals 9. Like you could minus the 7y from both sides to get the x by itself, or we could add the 2x and get the y by itself. I'm going to do that just so you guys can see one where I've got the y by itself instead of the x, because that was what was last time. Now you could have 9 plus 2x instead of 2x plus 9. That's the same thing. But basically when you're doing substitution, step 1 is always to get one letter by itself. I skipped that step last time because there was already a letter by itself. Then step 2 is to actually do substitution. So that's where I actually say, okay, this guy's going to get plopped. Oh, made a nice circle. Wow, that was crazy. This guy's going to get plopped right here, right in that y spot. So I'm going to take that original equation and put parenthesis where the y is, and put this right where the x, or where the y would have been. So x plus. And then from there we solve. So step 3 is to solve, right, for the one variable. So I'll just, you guys double check my mental math, but 14x plus 63 plus x equals -2. Oh, that's a big number, but that's fine. 14x and x is 15x plus 63 equals -2. minus 63 minus 63. 15x equals negative 65. X equals, I feel like that is a whole number.
About 4.33.
So negative 4 1/3 maybe,
Yeah.
like that. And if you guys had 4.3, that's totally okay. The one thing you got to be careful of is sometimes when you round the first answer, it can make you have kind of like a rounding error on this. So just kind of be careful with that. Maybe use a couple decimals. Whatever. And then step 4, as we know it, I don't know where I step 4. I'll just squeeze it in down here. Step 4 is to plug in to get the second variable, right? So I'm going to plug in, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to plug in the negative 4 1/3 right there. So I equals 2 times negative 4 1/3 plus 9. That's what, negative 8 2/3 plus 9. So I think that just is 1/3, actually. Well, that was gross. Can anybody verify that from the packet? Did I do that right? Hopefully I did.
Yeah.
Sweet. So that's substitution. I think I'm probably only going to do one more. Because I basically, the advantage of seeing it on video as opposed to reading the packet is you can actually see each step happening. Is this coming back to you guys though? Does this look familiar to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. So I think what I did in the packet was I said, hey, like do one of these on your, or do both of these on your own and double check yourself. I'm just going to say, just so you guys don't have to sit on a video, we'll just do one more where you guys kind of guide me through it. And then if you guys wanted to do the other one and double check yourself in your packet, good. But that's all you got to do for today. After we get out this video, you are like done with math. Because tomorrow I actually give you like an assignment on this stuff. So let's just do the one that's on the left in black here and then go from there. Anybody want to give me a first step that you guys would do?
Get one of them to have the variable by itself.
Yeah, any ideas which variable, this is for anybody, any idea which variable would be the easiest to get by itself?
X.
I think so on the second one, right? So the top one you can do, but just be careful because you'd have like decimals eventually, right? Because if you like subtracted 2y, you'd have to divide everything by that 2, and that's kind of gross. So I really like this one because that's by itself. So we're gonna add 4y, and then boom, the x is already by itself. So 4y minus 1, or you could have negative 1 plus 4y, right? Either way works. And then what do I do with that?
Plug it in.
Yeah, to the first equation. So 2 parentheses 4y minus 1 plus 2y equals 3. You know, this whole teaching online thing, I can't see like how you guys are doing. That's the worst part. I literally just have to stare at my own screen. What's the fun of that? 8y minus 2 plus 2y equals 3. Add 2, add 2. So 10y equals 5. So what's y equal?
2.
1/2.
Yeah, half, yeah.
1/2.
Yeah. And then what do we do with the 1/2?
Plug it back in.
Yeah, plug it back in. So 4 times 1/2 is 2 minus 1 is 1. So final answer 1 comma 1/2. And do make sure, you guys probably know this, but put your x first and your y second, right? So there we go. That is that. Any questions on this before I go back to Zoom? Sweet. Heading back to Zoom. Hang on, let me find myself here. Okay, and I'm probably going to stop. Boom.